Meantime, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that the deportation of a man from Maryland to El Salvador was illegal, and the Trump administration must facilitate his return. The White House claimed Kilmar Abrego Garcia was a member of a gang and sent him to a notorious prison in El Salvador last month. He has maintained that he has no gang ties. The Supreme Court ruled the administration should be prepared to share what steps it is already taking to bring him back home.
Trump administration officials say a recent increase in welfare checks at schools is meant to protect children from trafficking and violence. But some school leaders say immigrant children are being targeted for deportation. The Department of Homeland Security is now working with the FBI and other law enforcement agencies to conduct welfare checks. The announcement came after federal agents from the Department of Homeland Security recently visited two elementary schools in Los Angeles. School leaders say they thought the agents were from Immigration and Customs Enforcement and say they weren't clear as to why they were visiting.
At that point, the agents pocketed their IDs, refusing to allow the writing down of their names and badge numbers.
We're more afraid than ever, says.
The superintendent at LA Unified says he'll risk his job to protect the district students. Trump administration leaders say they're working to make sure children don't cross the border alone and are not vulnerable to trafficking and violence.
Well, the state of California and dozens of other states are now suing the Trump administration because millions of dollars in COVID-19 pandemic relief money was cut. State attorneys are saying the Trump administration overstepped its authority with this move. Previously, schools had until March 2026 to spend the remaining relief money of about $200 million. This marks the California Attorney General's 13th lawsuit against the Trump administration. Time now is 8:47. We're learning more about the family who died in New York City when a sightseeing helicopter crashed into the Hudson River. It crashed yesterday afternoon, killing the pilot and a family of 5 tourists from Spain. The tourists were a father, a mother, and their 3 young children. Witness video shows the helicopter falling from the sky.
Tail came off and then just flipped over in midair and started falling into the ground. Propeller still propelling without the plane helicopter as it was falling.
The exact circumstances of what caused the crash still unclear. The FAA and NTSB now investigating that crash.
New this morning, China has announced it's once again increasing tariffs on goods imported from the United States to 125%. The announcement comes after the White House clarified yesterday the tariffs on China are now up to 145% for all imports to the United States. The Trump administration has exempted goods that were already in transit, which means importers have not yet started to incur many of these new fees.
If these containers hit our shores, these prices will be felt. And again, as we've seen in the massive sell-off of U.S. technology companies that rely or that have supply chains that are extraordinarily exposed to China.
Senate Democrats are planning to call for another vote on a resolution to overturn the Trump tariffs. They plan to vote in 2 weeks after returning from their break. Republicans in the House have already blocked a previous resolution and are expected to block this one as well.